Hello and namaste from India to all my friends. We are going to talk about a very interesting remedy today. Um, a remedy we normally give randomly, most homeopaths, for any kind of thyroid related issues or goiter. But there is much more about to know about this remedy. And if you know this remedy in depth, you'll be able to help a lot of patients. So let me tell you a little bit about the remedy, Iodium, a remedy belonging to the periodic table, the mineral kingdom. And I would like to tell you a little bit about this remedy uh, from the idea of inner patterns. What are the inner patterns? We know that that iodine is very important remedy for thyroid problems. We know that it is important remedy for glandular problems. Very well known remedy for restlessness, etc., etc. But I want to tell you the real in-depth clinical pattern, maybe. So I like to call iodine as a remedy with lot of increased metabolism, hypermetabolism. There are people who have very high metabolism, hyper, very restless, restlessness with appetite, extreme restlessness, restlessness while doing anything, while sitting in the room when warm, with anxiety. They can also be very anxious people. So you put restlessness, you put nervousness, you put a kind of hyperactivity, and you start thinking about two other remedies, arsenic and zinc. But arsenic has lot of anxiety. uh, Iodine doesn't have that kind of anxiety. It is more physical hyperactivity, while zinc, the activity is more of the feet, and it is again deeper level of suppression of some kind of situation in zinc. But in iodine, lot of restlessness, so restless. There's a very interesting rubric, runs about at night, and violence, and wants to do some kind of violence, runs about, will fall unless she runs. This is the kind of if you want to understand iodine in few words, this is what it is. See, there is so much of iodine patients often say there's so much of violence inside them that they have to do something, or they have to break free from inside, or else something will happen to them. They cannot take dullness, they cannot take normal life, they want to just break free, destroy, run, violence, zit. That's the kind of state that iodine has typically. And the other very interesting thing about iodine is they don't like people too much. Company aversion, to avoid sight of people. There are people who like to be left alone. Very often, iodine, it's a halogen remedy. It belongs to the same group of muriaticum. So there is a history of a lot of kind of, you can say, betrayal. There's a lot of deep betrayal. There's a theme of dhokebaz, betrayal, a kind of backstabbing. This theme of backstabbing also came up in the proving done by Dr. Sankaran, where the main theme in iodine came up was someone backstabbed them. This is typical of iodine. Let's go a little further about iodine. And I want to give you these patterns of iodine which we normally never think of, but I'll try to build it up after understanding the deeper level of mental rubrics, and understanding the deeper patterns after understanding the provings of this remedy. One of the very interesting rubric iodine is delusion well when he's sick. So even when he's sick, he says, no, I'm okay, no problem, like arnica, like opium. Interesting. There's a feeling of detachment, detached from everywhere. Huh? Dreams. There's a lot of dreams of destruction, dreams of dead body, dreams of eating. So eating and food is a very strong theme of iodine. Even in the dreams, they feel they're eating something. There's a feeling of starvation. There's a feeling as if they've not got enough. They want to eat. And this is exactly opposite to the increased metabolism. There's also dreams of excrements. Again, where does the excrements come from? Food. After eating food, you excrete. So there is something to do with metabolism and a feeling of wanting to do too much, dreams of excrement soiling himself with, very interesting, dreams of falling. Iodum also is a very, very, very impulsive person. It's a person who wants to do with something very fast, won't think too much. Dreams of killing with a knife, sexual dreams, very high sexuality, dreams of being murdered, dreams of being stabbed, dreams of falling into water. Interesting. Very, very, very impulsive. The impulses can only be better by being busy. This is a very important symptom of iodine. There's a lot of indolence, indifference. Nair has given indifference in Addison's disease, again related to a kind of a hormonal disorder. That's why iodine becomes a very important remedy in hormonal disorders. Industrious. So it has both polarity. On one side they are very, very, very industrious, on another side they are very indolent. Very interesting rubric Vanier has given. Irritability when he does not eat. So very important theme of iodine is they cannot tolerate fasting. Everything gets better by eating, like here you can see. And also irritability when idle, so they want to do things very fast. They are very high speed people. In homeopathy there are different speeds. Calcarea is very slow, carbon is slow, tuberculinum is destructive, iodine is also very fast paced. Irritable constantly, desire to kill desire to her own child, sudden impulse to kill. This is the impulsiveness of iodine. Very, very careless. One of the very important thing about iodine is they are very careless. They are not very careful people like arsenic alb or by thuja. They are very careless, very impulsive, very heedless. It is that is typically iodine. Maniacal, but better by meditation. And if they are doing something, there are people who, if they are shown the right path, they can do something really magnanimous. They like to be, they like their mind to be diverted. Precocious, the children can be precocious. Very, very restless day and night. Dekho rubric. Restless, extreme restlessness, drives from place to place, extreme restlessness. We spoke about this. Sadness during digestion. Interesting. Any kind of hormonal problem, think about this remedy. Shrieking during delivery, shrieking when looked at. They don't like to be looked at. Shrieking when children at table. So tubercular miasm. Desire to sit with head on hands and elbow on knees. Doesn't like to be spoken to, like to be left alone. Strange things impulse to do, like cactus. They can also be feeling suicidal by starvation. Again, the sensitivity towards food. Very vivacious, talkative. Persistent thought, frightful thought, homicidal thoughts. And very importantly, a little bit like, deep. It's a very, very deep tuberculosyphilitic kind of remedy. Thoughts terrible, taking possession of him in mania, iodine. Very interesting. Desire to travel, they like to go out, they can't be at home. Violence, rage, walking desire. Weeping until they get something to eat. So interesting, no? Fears. Let's have a look at fears of iodine. Fear of trifles, fear of accidents. So sometimes they can get very anxious as well. Something will happen. Fear of impulses. Fear occurrence will end seriously. Fear of doctors. They don't want to meet doctors. Yeah, interesting. Extravagant. They like to do exercises. Exercises make them feel better. Desire to escape. There are also people who may be addicts, they could be drug addicts to an extent. Effeminate. They can also have a little feminine touch to them. We are talking about male patients here. Also. Capricious in headache. Cares full of if he does not eat. Check things must. So, a lot of OCD like state in this remedy. Anxiety during manual work, anxiety felt in the chest and heart, hypochondriacal. Some iodums can also be hypochondriacal typically. They are people at another stage of life, they don't like to talk at all, answers aversion to answers hardly. Interesting. And very important, overactive, hyperactive, hypermetabolism. Think about this. Strong action on thyroid, all the glands, like we rightly said, larynx, also mucous membrane of lungs, heart, so very important for increased blood pressure, skin, connective tissue, and that's why iodine is one of the lesser known remedy in arthritis, by the way. Very hot patient, one of the hottest patients in homeopathy, affected by hot air, worse by fasting, night aggravation, better by cold air, cold bathing, intense rapid action, always too hot, hot discharges. You know, arsenic iode will have redness here due to the coryza. Glands are very hard. Weak, rapidly losing flesh, can't talk. So they are people who keep eating but keep losing weight. General pulsations. They can be quite cross and restless in children's cases typically. Reverberation in the head. Their head will keep on tong, tong, tong. Yeah. Increased salivation. Little bit like mercury. Miserable or brown, withered, dusky look. Atrophied glands, painful choking, tickling cough, yes, rough dry spots, very important, you know, ars iode, sulph iode, very important for lichen planus, complementary to lycopodium, remember, early morning sweats with ameliorations, okay. Slightest efforts produce perspiration. This is very important for iodum. Iodum, Boric writes first line, rapid metabolism, like we rightly said. Tubercular type, more tubercular miasm, that's right. Iodum arouses defense by increasing the leukocytosis. Very interesting. Tremor, very important. So that's why very important for neurological cases. Very important, abnormal vasoconstriction followed by edema, and that's why very important for heart related pathology. And also for acute catarrh, so acute coryza, acute affection of respiratory organ, pneumonia, rapid. So it's a fast paced disease, the disease will go very fast. Adenoids, very important for adenoids, baryta iode, very interesting. Anxiety when quiet, but when they are doing something, okay. Anxiety about present tense, not about future. This is very important, very interesting symptom given by Boric. Anxiety only about right now, so they are worried about, okay, now what to do, future, forget it. That's the idea. Very interesting. A rush of blood, and that's why vertigo, congestive headache, a high BP. Very important for acute dacrocystitis, that is the lacrimal gland inflammation. Constant sneezing, typically in the hot room, and with this acute nasal stop up, high blood pressure. This, remember this keynote, this is very important keynote. Tongue is coated, typically bleeding. Eustachian deafness, so goiter with eustachian deafness, like Kali muriaticum. I told you, anxiety if it doesn't eat, like Sina sulfur. Very gassy, that's why complementary to Lyco. Very important for liver gland enlarged. Pancreatic disease, very important for pancreatic disease. Cutting pain of down, very important. With this very important indication which we told right now. Anyways, very important for IBS, IBD also. Better by constipation, better by drinking cold milk. Yeah, this would be a little common symptom, but anyways, very important for loss of sexual power with atrophied testes. Female, lot of weakness during menses. Ovaritis with strong action for PCOD. Mammary gland tumors. Pain in the right ovarian region, wedge type pain. Pain in the larynx, child brass throat. Right sided pneumonia. And very fast spread of pneumonia. Worse by warmth, craves cold air. In fact, my guru Dr. Sarkar recently told me he cured a beautiful case of COVID with help of iodum, and the only symptom was the patient was very hot. He couldn't tolerate the heat. and wanted to eat constantly. This two symptoms, and he gave iodine. Very interesting, huh? Cold extend from head to throat, and yeah, interesting. Heart feels squeezed, tachycardia, very important for joint pains, rheumatic pain, night pains, lesser known in this condition. Flushes of heat, sweat, and very important for cardiac disease, anasarca. Always better by walking about. Remember Kali iode, and worse by quiet. It's more right-sided remedy. We should know that. So it's a little bit about iodum. Very lesser known remedy. We don't use it so often. Desire for alcohol, desire for strong cheese, desire for meat, interesting, desire for cold milk, refreshing stimulants, and wine. So I hope you had a little idea about iodum. But hormonal cases, this could be a very important remedy. Many cases it could be important remedy. Understand the state of mind. And finally, I want to tell you a little bit about where is iodum here in the periodic table. So have a look. Iodum is here, 5th row of the periodic table, and 5th row has more to do with creativity. 5th row has more to do with doing the new things. 5th row has more to do with lot of technique, refining. 5th row has more to do performance, like argentum nitricum. So these are people who have a lot of ideas and want to do solutions. But iodum typically are people who hold on to old ideas, and they have now become forgetful. They have kind of lost their creativity. Although they have great sense of humor, but they are people who are now kind of wanting to hold on to the old, and now are not so important people at the creative performance situation. So this is a little bit about iodum, interestingly. I hope you found this interesting. I hope you applied. I use a lot of LM potency with very good results in today's times, and yeah, that's what it is. Namaste from Mumbai, India, and I'm making this videos because I was just, whenever I get time, I feel like making this video, sharing with all of you some interesting ideas. Maybe someone somewhere will watch these videos and feel inspired, maybe to take up homeopathy, study more, and do something from their life. That's the only reason. Thank you. And wherever you are, if things are not going well for you, it's a phase. Fight it out. Be resilient.